Hello, everyone. This is Moira with me today. Actually, she's on that side. So today we wanted to do what we called a recorded video about a showcase, to showcase what Moira Hutchison does as a living. And she's a WOW ambassador for quite a while now. I think she was part of the first 100. I think in 2015 or 2016, you joined WOW as an ambassador, and it gave you the opportunity to meet other women entrepreneurs and to grow some of your business also with all these women that was supporting and getting to know you. And so today, that's what we're going to do, but in a video form. We're going to get to know you as a person first, and then what you do for your business, and share your gifts, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your wisdom. And we will start with some informal questions, and then we're going to go to your business. So talk to us about you a little bit, where you're from, how you became a woman entrepreneur. And
So I was born in Canada. I was born in Toronto, and then until I was 13, I moved to BC, and then when I was 13, my parents divorced, and I went to Scotland with my dad. So that's why I speak funny.
But it's a beautiful accent. I love it. Every time I hear it, it just gives me a chill. It's like nice.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a lot of clients that enjoy my accent when I'm helping them relax. So so I did all of my growing up in Scotland, and I moved back to Canada in '93. Part of my whole evolution into the work that I do now has been my own journey. So my own journey was, I'm the oldest of 5 girls, brought up as a single parent family by my father. And I left home quite early, like age 17, 18, and went off and joined a cult. So that's just what I did. But so this is the thing about,
that it was a cult at the time. Maybe you didn't know it was a cult.
No, I did not know that at the time.
Exactly. So sometimes we join things without knowing what they're all about because we're intrigued, or we have a curiosity.
But also it's because I've always, all my life, I've had a healing bent. That's always been my mission, is to be a healer. And part of my growing up in Scotland was that I was going to train to be a nurse. That's all I ever wanted to do. And then at age 17, I had a spot in the prestigious nurse training college, and I couldn't take it because I failed the physical exam. I had put my back out a couple of times, actually. I'm over 6 foot tall. And that's so I had actually hurt my lower discs in my back twice. And that was enough. They said anybody had damaged their back like that, you could not train to be a nurse.
Because you have to stand on your feet a long, long time.
Well, also you have to potentially lift.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you potentially might have to lift something, and that was too big of a risk. So 17 years old, and I'm like, I had never contemplated anything else. And so this group that I joined, I did a personality test with them, and they said, wow, you are off the charts with abilities to heal. We need you. And so the rest was history, because it was like, well, this is my calling. This is going to be the replacement of that dream.
That's where it resonated with you too.
Absolutely. Got me in and had me captured,
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is me getting to fulfill what my calling is. Of course it didn't. And I was there for 2 years. And in coming out, it was like trying to reintegrate into the real world, which I had actually had no part of for 2 years. And so this is where my journey into the corporate world started, because I needed to earn money needed to support myself. And I have a very strong skill set in numbers, which is part of why I do numerology now. But I did bookkeeping and I did temp jobs, and very quickly. So I came out at age 21, and by age 24, I was an office manager.
Wow.
24, sorry. By age 24, I was
so within 2 years, you climbed the corporate ladder pretty fast.
But I'm sharing that to show you how hard I pushed and how resilient and driven and
dedicated.
But that followed me, that A-type personality, the push, the hustle, the makeup for these 2 years, because I didn't, it took me 10 years to be able to come out in public and say, this is what I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we go through things that we don't think they're going to impact our well-being, and then once we get out of it, it's like a cloud has been lifted.
Mm-hmm.
But then, do we share it or not share it?
Right. Yeah. So that's part of the, I mean, when I did choose to share, it was the right time. I've actually helped many people come out as well. But of course, I had to become stronger in myself and more confident and more at peace. Like you're saying, we sometimes experience certain things, but then if we have shame around it, or we don't feel confident or comfortable sharing certain things or being vulnerable, that's a big piece. It's just being vulnerable, right?
Yeah. And then sometimes when you share things, it becomes an experience that you went through. Mm-hmm. And it's done and over with. So it's been processed. People know about it, and there's calmness about the situation, and then it becomes, a part of you, but it doesn't put a burden. It puts an accolade, actually, that you've been through that and you've survived and you became who you are today because of those struggles. And sometimes struggles are maybe seen in a negative, but they're also a positive, because they help you to forge ahead and become something that you were meant to be.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing in all of this is that as we sort of journey through the different levels, and notice I'm going up, that I think that at some point we can even look back at the things that seemed so traumatic and realize I created that, and look at the amazing gift that I got from it.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Can you describe how intuition relates to your life purpose?
That was a perfect segue into there.
Yeah.
So I believe, and I know, every one of us is intuitive. Unfortunately, in the Western world, fortunately, unfortunately, in the Western world, we're not taught that. We are taught to really depend upon our left brain, our logical, our rational, our set goals, push forward, get things done. Unfortunately, with that, that's the masculine aspect of us, because intuition comes from the feminine, the right brain, the more creative, right? So I would love for more balance, and I think it's happening. I'd love to see more balance, because the more we get in touch with that feminine, creative, intuitive part, the more we realize there is no right and wrong. But it's the masculine, the logical, the rational that keeps telling us right and wrong. You either did it, you didn't. You're a success or you're a failure.
It's a bit the ego that's wanting to control all aspects of our life, but the intuition brings us back to our feelings, our, what is normal. Like, I get that the intuition is a feeling within the woman who, can try to get positive vibes, and the intuition it's a strong feeling from the solar plexus, I guess. That's how I see it, that, we go with our intuitions and we receive messages
Yeah.
that helps us, see, like you say, a more balanced life.
I agree. I think, so I just said that we're all intuitive, and it's the intuition that leads us to the realization of our life purpose. When I'm teaching intuition, I have a system where I teach, there are 9 what I call clairs, 9 clairs, Claire, C-L-A-I-R.
I know what those are.
The 9 clairs.
Yeah.
So they are the different channels in which we receive our guidance. So there are things like clairaudience, where we hear things, or clairvoyance, where we see things, or claircognizance, where we just know things. So the thing about it is we actually have access to all 9, but we generally have our favorite 2.
I didn't even know that we had 9. I thought there was only 4 that I know of.
That's usually what people talk about is the main 4.
Yes.
But it goes deeper.
Wow.
So yes.
That's something we're gonna have to create a workshop on.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that, because it's I'm a clairvoyant, and I do have clairaudience and claircognizance, and what's the other? Clairsentience.
Clairsentient.
Yeah.
So I am a clairaudient, and claircognizant are my 2 that absolutely go to all the time. I am clairvoyant when I do energy work.
Oh.
But only when I do energy work. It's always fascinated me. So if I'm teaching or doing Reiki, I have clairvoyant visions.
And I know that you mentioned earlier numerology. So how do you use tarot and numerology in your work with your clients?
They blend together so beautifully. So in fact, I think I finished it. I did. I finished. I'm in a coaching program with one of my tarot mentors at the moment. And it was them that presented the 2 go together completely. Not because up until that point, I was going, I am a numerologist. So I would say, okay, I'll run your numbers. And then I'd know tarot of how to set up the soul profile and your life path card, etc. But I hadn't blended
Combined them.
And now I do.
Oh, that's interesting as well.
Yeah, because you know how in the tarot, we talk about the major arcana. They all have numbers.
It's
from
true.
0.
It's true.
Yeah, from 0 to 21. There's so they all relate to numbers. In fact, there's a book that takes you way deeper into that. It's like, that was a rabbit hole I fell into, and this card is this number, and that means this. But there's another ingredient in there too, because I also do human design readings. Oh. So it is amazing.
Tell me a little bit more about that, because I've never heard
human design.
No.
So human design is an amazing body of work. It is based on the I Ching. Have you heard of the I Ching? It's the Chinese. So the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the 9 is the Brahman chakra system. So there's 9 chakra system. Astrology. I feel like quantum physics. I feel like I'm missing something else, but just that's big. So you put all of that in the blender, and that's what human design is.
And what it does to when you do your readings, you are able to tap into those things for the person, and go deeper into their is it their core beliefs? Is it the way they do things?
It shows you. So in a nutshell, what it shows you, so it's an astrological chart that I run for people, and you have what is called your conscious design. That's your mind. It's what you know about yourself, but it also shows you your unconscious mind. So that's based upon the position of the planets 3 months before you're born.
Wow.
It's trippy to go into this part. And so it helps.
It's like the preparation to the human coming on Earth.
Yeah. Yes. But it's also your heritage, like what are you bringing? What you got from your ancestors? Because it's in there.
Yes. It's like a
So
DNA sort
yeah,
of type of,
yeah, yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
awesome.
And so then I get to help people see what their type is, what their inner authority, and that ties beautifully with what we were just saying about the intuition. Because if I know that you are, like for myself, my inner authority is actually my intuition. And it shows up on my chart that that's what it is. And then other people, like my husband, actually, he's an emotional inner authority. So that's more clairsentient. You got to feel it.
Feel it.
It takes time to process. And so that actually really helps me see clients, but also helps them see themselves as to how do they make decisions.
And
It
it
goes
actually gives
way,
them the sort of like a background of their who they are and how it transpires in their day-to-day life. Because
absolutely.
if I knew what my subconscious programming is,
Yeah, you're
it would
designed.
help me in all my,
Of
it
course.
would remove some of the blockage that sometimes we have in our, not in our conscious, but in our subconscious, that sometimes blocks. Because I feel that a lot of the time, when people are struggling, it has to do with their subconscious that's not, that hasn't been acknowledged,
Yeah, brought to light for them.
brought to light. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. But so in what we're just talking about is that I will do a map where I can help pair people know themselves for their human design, and then see what the path is, what their soul path and life purpose path is in the tarot and in numerology. And it's all telling the same story. Like it's like this multi-layered way of really helping people see who they are, who they have been, who they're becoming, what their potential is too.
And does that have to do with the day that they were born, like if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and does it have to do with the time they were born, the date they were born?
Yeah, it's the
and
location.
It becomes a astrological or
Exactly.
strictly numerology?
No, the numerology part is one piece that I do on the side,
Okay.
and then the tarot. And like I said to you, now they're really meshing beautifully. But the human design part is completely separate. I also do something called Dharma typing, but that's based on the Ayurvedic astrology.
Okay.
And they can be slightly different because their Ayurvedic astrology is older and wiser in some respects than Western astrology.
And how long does it take you to do a chart for somebody? So if somebody, reached out to you and said, oh, I would love to have, a chart done for me, what's the process? How long does it take for you to do that?
It takes me a while to prepare it. And then I have an hour session with the person, and they walk away with a written report.
That's awesome.
Because it can be overwhelming to go. If they do the full blueprint, I call it your life blueprint. I think I named that report.
Awesome. And those can be found on your website, Wellness with Moira.
wellnesswithmoira.com.
That's awesome. Now I want to talk about your 5 steps to letting go process, because I know that's a new thing that you're doing also. So can you tap into that and tell us what that 5-step is?
Absolutely. And actually, it's not new. This has been the model through my whole letting go system. My letting go videos that I do every week.
Yes.
So that's using my system as the letting go. So there's a whole card deck that comes with that. But the 5 steps in my letting go system is basically what I'm doing with a coaching client. And I'm meeting them where they are. So I'll run through all the 5 steps, and then I'll explain to you how come it means that it's a one-on-one experience when I'm doing coaching one-on-one. But I'm actually about to turn this into a group coaching program. So that's kind of in the works right now.
Okay.
But
because I know some of the people who have worked with you, and they only have praise, because it has helped them so much to come out of their comfort zone and be authentic.
Yeah.
So that's what it has helped them, is to really forge ahead instead of living in fear or not having the confidence. Your process has helped them. So
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And that is the intent of it. That's the whole letting go so you can thrive. I wrote a book. I wrote a book, and that's the book, is letting go so you can thrive.
And can people buy your book as well on Wellness with Moira?
Yep,
Awesome.
it's there. Yeah, it's on the sidebar that you can pick that up.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The 5 steps.
Yes.
And they're all A words. So
Oh,
the first one.
I'm going to write them down. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the 5 steps, it's awareness, acceptance, action, adapt, and aspire. So before I go into it, those 5 steps correlate to the first 5 of the 7 main chakras. So we go, awareness is root, acceptance is at sacral, action is solar plexus, adapting is at the heart, and aspiring is at the throat. And then I see the third eye and the crown chakra as the overlords. They're the transpersonal chakras that they check in and feed and look after the well-being of all those other chakras. So I just thought I'd interject that part.
Yeah, that's good.
But so here's the thing about, so when we want change, we have to first be aware of where we are, what's going on, who are we, what kind of environments do we do best in, what skills do we have, what skills do we not have. So this is awareness. And so that is like taking a complete inventory of how's things going, do you like it, are you happy with it? It's all awareness. Now, at awareness, oftentimes people will discover things they don't like, or they feel a wee bit uncomfortable, or they think, oh, I can't say that out loud. Remember my story about coming out? So the next step, and this one is the one where I find most of my clients take the longest to get through, is acceptance. Because a lot of times people will think, if I accept it, I'm keeping it. If I accept it, I'm saying it's okay. If I accept it, it's going to get bigger. All of which are not true. Because accepting is just saying, is what it is. Just, this is what I did. I did the best I could. Things like that. But then you're aware what everything is, and you accepted that you've got some good habits, some bad habits, some things you need change in, and now you're going to take action. So the action can be doing things like saying mantras, or doing a gratitude practice, or writing a journal, or committing to yourself that you're going to do a meditation every day. It's small baby steps at the beginning that then get to turn into bigger and bigger steps as you go. Then the next step is adapting. And like I said, that's at the heart chakra. So adapting means you've taken these action steps, and now you're becoming more of this thriving, purpose-led, soul-led person. So you change, you adapt to being that new version of you. And then then you adapt. So you've had awareness and accepted all it is. You then adapt you take action on those steps, then you adapt, because now you're like this next step up. And then that next step up is kind of like you step on this new step and you think, what can I do next? So that's the aspire. What's the next audacious, auspicious goal that I can have? And then it all starts again. So now, it's like
a 5-step of letting go, but of
it's a spiral up.
Yeah, like rejuvenate everything that you've learned about yourself, and then do the steps again. So that's a good
which actually is what we're doing from a numerology point of view, is we keep repeating, right? We're doing everything in 9-year circuits.
Yes.
So we have a 1, and then, right? So you just keep keep going.
That's
But
true.
you see, and it depends on, like, I'm actually in a 1 year myself right now, which, if you think about what I've been through, the 9 year was all about letting go, really letting go, ending that last 9 years of cycle, and then saying, okay, now for my personal year, I'm actually now planting seeds and setting the foundations for the things that I'm going to work on and develop and evolve in myself for the next 9 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what does letting go have to do with aligning to our life purpose? Because I know
we've just
we
really
covered it, but
covered that really well.
yeah,
Because it's about, you know, it's something that I've been saying to clients a lot recently is, you know how we can all have the dialogue in our head of oh, I should have done this, and oh, I forgot that, and I dropped the ball over there, and so we have the negative chatter. We all do.
yes.
What I ask people to do is to appreciate it, to say thank you. Thank you.
It's
So
a
that
different
little
perspective.
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing, is that if we understand that that negative little voice is really wants to keep you safe,
Yes.
and at some point it was correct. At some point in your own evolution, that whatever it's telling you was correct, but it's not now. So when you say to that component of you, or that voice in your head, if you say, thanks, thank you so much. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but right here, right now, I'm good. I've got this, right? Come into your heart energy.
Yeah. I love the fact that sometimes we do have to talk to ourselves.
Oh, we do. I do it all the time.
Yeah. But sometimes people forget to talk to themselves because we're the most important person on earth.
Yep.
And we have to start taking care of, our inner self, our outer self, and just be part of, getting to know us better while we're on here. Well, we're, doing the evolution of every 9 years, whatever. That way we can strive, right? So we can learn things, and, we're not perfect, but we're perfectly where we are.
That's right. That's
So
right.
what drives you to do the work that you do?
And I started to hint at this a wee bit at the beginning, is the burnout. I've had 3 burnouts simply because of that pattern that I ingrained in myself of just work hard and keep pushing and never taking the time to sit and talk to myself and listen to the intelligence that were sort of saying, hey, you know what, you don't need to work 80 hours a week. It's not good for you. And to just get into the way, it's like flipping the mindset to the awareness that if I don't put me first, I'm going to just keep getting more and more health challenges and issues. It's not going to resolve. It's until I take complete ownership for I've created all of this stress, this chaos, this trauma, this turmoil, because I've had a lot I've gone through. And it's by taking ownership for all of it in a loving way and just saying,
embracing it.
Yeah, embracing it fully and knowing I created this to share the wisdom and to become more of me. I mean, I am living my purpose completely. And part of it was going through a lot of the different turmoil and traumas and bumps in the road. That it's then, because then when I hold space for someone and really see, or they can feel that I can hold it with them while they work out, the best next step. This is about their awareness process, right? It's all in conversation.
With all your knowledge and all your wisdom, what would be one thing that you could tell the WOW ambassadors about your business that would help them? Like just explain to them what what would a 1 hour coaching or 1 hour session with you would do to them?
I think that's a good question. I think that the main thing is a coaching session with me, they would walk away with more acceptance of who they are. They'd have more motivation and drive to say yes to what they need to do and recognize when they need to say no. They would understand that they have the right to put boundaries and to treat themselves as the queen of their enterprise, but also know that they have what it takes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the business that they're in.
Right.
So it's to have that sort of calm confidence and know that even if things feel a wee bit overwhelming, that there are ways to get through it. So I love doing research on psychology and mindset and doing different meditations and chakra healing and tarot card readings. And so they all come out. So I don't have a specific structure for a session. So that's why I'm saying I meet the person where they are and they tell me what they would like to be, like where would they like to be?
Right.
And then we kind of look at what tools,
yes,
what can I help them create?
And give them clarity in what they're doing so they can strive further instead of sometimes have a little blockage, and that would help them to discover themselves or where they're at now and where they aspire.
That's right. See, at the top, fifth step.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Moira, so much for being here today and showing your gift to us, your grace, your wisdom.
My pleasure.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, getting to know you a little bit better, and all the time it's like it's like a gift. You get to unwrap a little bit of pieces to get to know what's inside. So I'm happy that we had a chance to showcase you, Moira Hutchison, today. Thank you for being there with us. It's been a pleasure to just get to know some of the stuff that you do.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.